We are currently live, Charmaine.
Yay. Hey.
So first, I would like to thank you for being on Like Her podcast. I really appreciate it, and just for you to be so open and transparent about your journey, your personal life overall, I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be me.
Yes, more than welcome. So, Charmaine, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a mother of three. One of my three is in heaven right now watching down. I'm a wife and I'm a career legal assistant for a law firm here in my town. I've been doing legal work for years as a secretary, and I
Mhm.
love what I do. I'm also an avid tennis player. I love playing tennis and bowling, and that's basically my life. I just enjoy my life doing the little things that I do. But more than anything, I like being around my family.
I know that's the best thing right there.
That's it. That is.
Yes, especially now, we just gotta cherish each moment as much as possible.
Each
Yes, we do.
moment, live in the moment. And that's what I'm learning how to do, especially during this COVID time when life just flipped. It's not the first time it flipped, but this is not a bad flip. I can deal with this kind of flip because
Hmm.
I'm a homebody. I like being
Okay.
at home, I like being near home. So this is comfort for me. I'm working from home right now since this COVID thing started. And my husband is also working from home. So we got a cozy little spot and we're good.
That's good. That's a blessing too.
Yes, yes, I'm blessed.
A lot of things could be worse, especially
Yes,
during COVID time when some
I think
people aren't
about that.
fortunate.
I think about that. So
Yeah.
I'm
So tell me a little bit about the younger you.
the younger me. Oh, the younger me was the second child in a family of five. So I'm the oldest girl. I have a sister who is 10 years younger than me. She's the sister that I prayed and asked God for because I was lonely as the only girl. So when I was 10, here comes this little sister of mine that I had to all of a sudden share my bedroom with. I had a bedroom all to myself because I had three brothers. And we lived in a three-bedroom bungalow. It might have been 1,700 square feet, maybe less, but it was a cozy little home with my mom and my dad. And, I grew up, I went to public school in Richmond, nothing special there. I started playing tennis when I was young. My dad showed us some trophies that he won in a city tournament. He dug them out of the closet and it was all tarnished. And I was like, well, I didn't know you played tennis. And so he said, do you want to play? And so he started taking us to the playground to learn how to play tennis. And so that was a passion for me. I wanted to be like him because he pulled out these trophies. I wanted to have some tennis trophies. And I do. I have tennis trophies.
Yeah, that's good. That's wonderful. So tell me about your first book.
My
Who
first book, my first published work, Who Killed My Son? A Mother's Wait for Justice. That the reason that I wrote that book is because it was a kind of a healing for me after my son got killed in New York. And I wanted to share that story and do something with my life. I wanted to do like he did, live my life to the fullest. But then I had to figure out what does it mean to live my life to the fullest. So I had an opportunity to write. I always knew the way that my life was, all of the things that I went through in my life, that one day I was going to share the story to help other women. And that's kind of what I did. I shared that story to help myself and to help anybody else that was going through a hard time. I wanted to share my son's story. And it really was sharing our story just so I could get that out and say that I'm a published author. So, mission accomplished.
I know that's right. So tell me a little bit more about how you end up having peace and forgiveness and a positive outlook of everything.
Well, it kind of it started when I was younger, always looking on the bright side of things. You know, you could call me a Pollyanna because if somebody say it's raining outside, I would say, well, the ducks like it, you know. And I had a Chatty Cathy doll when I was a kid. You know, you pull the thing in the back of her neck and she would
Yeah.
say something. And the one thing that she would say, and I can say it just like she said it, every cloud has a silver lining. And I wondered what that meant, a cloud with a silver lining. And as I begin to grow up, I understand you look for the bright side of things. And so I would always look for the bright side of things because things can always be worse, you know. And so I just would look on the bright side of things to make myself feel better in that situation. In my mind now, I just grew up that way. And my mind immediately goes to the bright side of things, no matter what's going on. And I'm sure I get on some people's nerves because whenever they have something, I immediately come. And that is my gift to encourage. I encourage people so easily. And I think God ingrained that in me to just have that positive outlook to help me and I help others with that positive outlook. So, you know, when my son died, I said, you know, let me just use all the things that have been laying dormant because I was 62 years old when
Right.
I got the news that he was dead. I found out on Facebook, and
Wow.
isn't that cold? Isn't that wrong?
Yeah.
The police didn't call me to let me know my son was dead. 2 days after he was dead was when I saw it on Facebook, and I have an issue with that. But you know, I said, you know what? I'm going to use Facebook for my platform. You know, so if you see me on Facebook, that's just part of my redemption to use that to
Right.
flip it on the bright side. I'm going to use that for my platform. The thing that really shocked me and hurt me at that time, I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that you had to find out that way. I've seen that many times on people make comments like that, like how disrespectful they are to even share certain things on Facebook, and families will have no clue.
But they don't know. They don't know because I lived in Tampa and he was in New York. And so his friends and stuff started posting that rest in peace. I can't believe it. My daughter saw it. She called me while I was at work to say, Mom, have you heard from Curtis lately? And I was like, first of all, why are you calling me in the middle of the day? I'm thinking to myself, this must be important. Let me answer. And so I was cool, calm, and collected, thinking, this is fake news. What the Trump, I don't even want to say his name, the Trumpster was in, and that was the buzz. Everything's fake news. Everything's fake news. So I'm thinking, you know what? I think this is just fake news. Let me go check it out. And so
Right.
I left my lunch. You know, it was the day we had that solar eclipse, and I will always remember that day because that's the day it was a solar eclipse, a total eclipse of my heart. You know
Wow.
that song, Total Eclipse of My Heart?
Yes.
There was a total eclipse of my heart. So I will always remember the day of the total eclipse. And then the next day happened to be my oldest son's birthday. So, you know, I lost one, I gained one, all of these emotions.
Right.
But, you know, when I found out, when I read it and I went into that conference room, that's when a greater measure of peace came upon me because I heard the Lord speak to me and it stopped me from screaming. He said, He's with me. And I know that voice. He's with me. And I went from to just boom, just like that. And immediately I said, I forgive everybody involved. That's
Wow.
how I did. I forgive everybody involved because I knew the power of forgiveness. And I knew this was going to be a hard one. And if I didn't do it right then, I might be stuck in the floor, plastered forever in grief. I didn't want to be in that place. I had to deal with it in an instant. But that peace, when it came, and it stayed, I still have that peace.
Right.
When that peace, when it came, it just stayed with me and it carried all the way through. And I'm like, you know what? I want to hold on to that peace because it is sweet. when something like that traumatic happens, you have to have something to balance
Yeah,
you.
because that's your baby.
That was my baby. That was my middle boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for parents that mourn from losing their children or their child?
Well, I don't really know what to say to them except I feel your pain. When I hear that another mother lost her son, I feel it because I experienced it. So I know what it feels like to lose a child. But my saving grace was that I knew God and He met me. I didn't have to reach out for Him and say, Jesus, help me. He just came in like a flood. He was just right there, whoosh. But the reality of losing a child is something that will never, ever leave you. And you're always going to feel some kind of way when you think about them. The one thing that I do that always, always helps me, and I tell other people this: think about all the good times. Remember those good times. And when you start thinking about your child, think about those good times, not how he died or how they left here. Of course they left too soon. No mother should have to bury her child
Right.
ever. That's not the order of things. That's not the divine order of things. But if it happens that way, look on the bright side. And that is my answer for everything. Look on the bright side. Think about the things that made you laugh and laugh. And always carry tissues. I always have tissues nearby because when it's time for me to think about it and I can't catch myself and the tears come, I let them come. I
Yeah.
earn I lost a child. So if somebody go, oh, what's wrong? And see, and that was a part of me always putting on a mask. I used to wear a mask every day of my life when I was younger, coming up, because to hide the pain and the stuff that I was going through. Nobody could tell by my smile because all I had to do was,
Yeah.
oh, you have a beautiful smile, thank you. But my mom knew. She would look in my eyes and she would know when it was real or not. But nobody else knew, so I just kept being okay, but I wasn't okay.
Right. So what are you doing now to bring you peace besides, I know you have God and you pray and everything, but what else do you do to bring yourself peace and keep yourself calm as needed?
I just remember I remember that piece that I had and that I don't want to lose it. So I make a decision. I make a decision. Am I going to give away my peace? And I quickly remember, no, I'm not surrendering my peace for that. If somebody says something to me that's like out of the way, I can respond one way or I can respond another way. But my response is usually, oh, I don't live with you. I don't have to be with you. I don't have to go anywhere with you. In a minute you're gonna be going on about your business. My peace is too precious. And I think that's I realize the preciousness of peace. And I'm not willing to let it go. So I always check myself when I feel my peace leaving. If somebody says something, and I can feel it when it's rolling up in me,
Yeah.
like, oh no, you didn't. I can feel it when it's rolling up, but I just breathe. I just breathe and recorrect right now because I don't want to act any kind of way in public because I'm a lady and I always like to act like a lady. I don't want to get ugly because I can. And
Yeah.
when I get off the chain, I am off the chain. And it's hard to reel it back once you go out there. So my thing is don't even go there, Charmaine. Don't even go there. Just
Hmm.
walk away, whatever you have to do, and then just let it go. And my power to forgive comes into play for everything because otherwise I'll say something wrong to somebody, I'll slap somebody,
Yep.
I'll snatch something out of their hand. Now I gotta repent. God,
Yep.
I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have did that, and I'll feel some kind of way. So I'm like, nope, go ahead on, boo. I ain't trying to fool with you. And I
Hmm.
just, I just check myself
Well, it's
because
good
some
that
things
you
just
gain
look
self
good.
control. You got self control, and that takes a lot. I mean, a whole lot, because it seems sometimes I don't know if you ever got that feeling. It's like when you feel it the most and you going through it the most, you got people that nitpick with you and they just keep poking you and keep poking you.
Oh,
And you be like, what have I done? Like, leave me alone.
well, one thing that I've learned, because I used to be a target for people poking, because they like, what makes her tick? Why she doesn't get it upset about it? You had a good have a good poker face. You know, you couldn't tell. I say couldn't tell what's going on with me because I'm always stoic. I'm always together. You know,
Yeah.
I always hold it together. But now I'm just learning to be a little more. If you come at me, I come back at you, but in a nice way.
Nice
You
way,
know, my
respectful way.
mom was nicey because she was the sweetest woman. But she could say something to you, and her words would cut you, and you wouldn't even know you were cut until you got halfway down the street. So, I try not to cut with my words. I'm mindful now of my words because words are so powerful. And
Yes.
say something to someone and really crush them. And because that happened to me early in my life, I try to be mindful of what I say to people,
Hmm.
because I try to build them up, never tear them down.
Yeah,
And,
it's that
you
power of the tongue because you don't want to speak things into existence either because what you could say to someone else can reverse back to you or someone that you love close and dear, and you be like, wait, what happened? It was your mouth.
right, right. I watch what I say when somebody tells me, oh, so and so did this and this and this. I watch what I say about it because I don't want it to come back on me and go, oh, remember what you said about them? Now what you gonna do? I just try to balance myself, and self-control is a very good part of that. And I have self-control in most areas of my life. There's one area I'm working on. That's what I eat. I
Well,
eat. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
that's
Thank you for
okay.
saying that self-control because that made me feel good. Like I'm thinking, I have no self-control. See, I need to stop saying that. I am working to have better self-control.
But you have it. You ain't
Okay.
scared of nobody.
No.
See, that's self control.
Let me tell you though, that's why I didn't go to New York when I found out that my son had died and the police didn't call me. And when I called them, when I got home that day to get some details, and what I got, the detective told me, oh, we're going to call you when we get more information. And I said, okay. And I hung up the phone. And then I said, wait a minute, he didn't take my name. He didn't take my number. How was he going to call me back? I got mad right then.
I don't
That's
blame
when I got mad. And so, my husband wanted me to get on the plane and go up to New York, but I had visions of myself walking in there and, blowing up the place,
you.
and that would not look good on the 11 o'clock news. So
Mm-mm.
I'm like, no, he's gone. So let me see what else I can do. And so, I just said, let them do their job. Let them do their job. And it's been 3 years, and guess what? They have not done their job because no one has been arrested. You know, there are a lot of witnesses, but no one's been arrested. But
Wow.
that's another story for another day. But I still have peace about that because I forgave them. But if I start allowing my mind to go
Yeah,
there,
you
I
get
don't go
upset
there.
all over again from that
Yeah,
day.
I don't go there. I just don't go there. Not there. I go other places. I go to happy places in my mind, but not those. If I don't have the power to do something about it, then I just don't go there. But if there's something that I can do or something that I think I can do that might make a difference, then I will take action for there because I can see, something's going to come out of this. I can move towards it. But if it involves other people, you can't control other people or what they do, whether they're doing what they're supposed to do or not. You have no control over what they're doing. So
Yeah.
all I can do is pray for them and check myself, release them, and continue to pray. God, bring justice, bring vengeance, because you said you would bring the vengeance. So I
Mm-hmm.
think you can do it better than me because your vengeance not going to land me in jail. So I'm going to let you handle it.
No, because I'm sure they're going through it right now. You
They
know.
are. They are.
Yeah, definitely. And it shows a lot within you as far as growth, loving yourself, and knowing yourself. and that takes a lot for you to even have this mindset that you have, because some people don't have it. Some people will just think after the fact, but the fact that you are precautious and you vision things before time, and how you know what's going to happen, it helps you do that. I do that to myself too. I have visions before I react to things, because it's like you have to save yourself. You got to understand a lot that you could lose,
Yes.
and the people that do love you and care about you, and you won't see them no more. It's a lot of things that come with that, and that's really big of you to even have that strength, that part of strength within you, and you're helping somebody right now listening to what you're saying, because
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Woo saw y'all, and you have to understand too. I have some wisdom with all of these years. I'm almost 65 years old, so
Looks
this
good
wisdom is
too.
speaking. Yeah, oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Yes, like, I
And
know
I gotta
that's
own
right.
that. Yeah,
Yes.
and, 65 years old, I have wisdom. I've learned some things, so I just try to act like I know a little something.
No, you ain't acting. You know.
Yeah, I know. I know. And that's the beauty of my gift. That's why I want to share what I share. Because if you will listen, you will learn. And you don't have to go through the experiences that I went through. I can share my experience and say, don't go that way. Go this way. If you go that way, this is what's going to happen. And I want people
Mhm.
to understand that. I can save some people from a lot of heartache and a lot of headache if they will listen.
Yes. And what's so crazy? My mom used to always tell me, "You gonna get it one day. You gonna listen one day." And it was like probably like 2 years ago, I started listening more, and she'd be like, "Okay, you getting it."
Yeah,
But it's so awkward that she's gone now. It's like I get everything. I still hear her.
you
She
still
still,
here.
yeah, she still whoop me, wake me up. It's like everything, but it's like it's there. And it's just the fact of just hearing you talk is even refreshing too, because I think a lot of younger generations need to listen to our elders a lot more, because they think we y'all don't know anything. Y'all, you
Yeah,
ain't telling me nothing. I got this.
yeah.
But it's like
My,
you're not gonna tell us wrong, you're gonna tell us right and save us from something that you've probably experienced already.
yep. If they will listen, I am the matriarch of my family now. I had my mother and her sister, my aunt, and they both, left to be with the Lord. But the one thing that my Aunt Erlene helped me one time when I was raising my daughter, and I'm like, she's doing this and she's doing that. And my auntie said, remember, you were young once. And that just kind of backed me off. I'm like, yeah, now I get it. So let me just give her wisdom. Let me give her advice. If she asks, or if I see that she's going in trouble, my baby is 32 now. She's not really a baby baby. But,
Just know it's
when
your baby.
she was younger, yeah, they're my baby. But when she was younger, I would try to guide her that way. But I had to remember I was young once. So, you know, and I was sneaky.
Oh, well, at least you're telling it like it is.
Well, well,
So,
that poker face helped.
oh yeah, it does. So tell me about your book. That's on pre-order right now. Everybody, you can get a copy today. And tell me about No More Residue. Tell me about your portion of it.
My
Just a
portion.
little bit. Just a little bit. Not too
This
much.
was an amazing project, I can tell you that, because through this project, I got free of a lot of things. My chapter is the courage to speak, because I shared a little bit of my story where I didn't have the courage to speak. I was, people would say shy or timid or bashful. What that really is, don't be fooled, it's fear. And the root of that fear kept me from speaking, saying, doing when I knew that I had a different idea. And so I had to find the courage to speak in my chapter, because I found myself in a situation where I was being emotionally tormented, emotionally abused, psychologically abused, and I was too afraid to say anything. I didn't want anybody to know what I was going through at the time. So I didn't share a lot of what I was going through with anybody because I had kind of gotten separated from my family through a marriage that I entered into when I was too young to be married. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I was 20 when I got married. Too young, too young. You don't know anything about anything when you're 20 years old. At least I didn't. And see, I
Mm-hmm.
came back up in the 70s, you know, so the role model, we didn't have like her podcast back in 1975. I
Right.
didn't have big voices to listen to guide me. I grew up in the church. So those were the voices I listened to, but it wasn't a spiritual voice. It was a religious voice just saying, don't do this and don't do that. God doesn't like this and God doesn't like that. So I didn't have a mindset of having a relationship with the God that I loved because I gave my life to Him when I was young. I thought it was just keep the Ten Commandments and I'm good. And if I
Right.
do unto others as they do unto me, it's going to be good. So when I start doing good to others and I start getting rejected and betrayed, I didn't understand it at that young age. And I didn't have anybody to reach out to say, what happened? You know, my mother and I didn't have that kind of, Gilmore Girl relationship where we could sit down and talk like girlfriends. She was my mom. You know, I didn't know anything about anything. What I knew, I read in Cosmopolitan magazine.
Wow.
That was
And
my information.
yeah, and that's what it is. Like a lot of us keep our mouths shut, just like you said, like just finding our voices and everything. But a lot of people don't understand when you share your portion on how you want to share your testimony, you are helping so many women, men. It doesn't matter. You're helping so many people once you speak up more because it's like we live in this quiet world, but we only speak when we want to speak.
Yeah.
We want to say whatever we want to say and just hide things when as nothing won't get solved if we continue to be that way.
And one of the reasons that I hear things like that, I came to know it through the process of writing this book, getting to the root of what it really was. It was pride.
Yeah.
Pride. You want people to see you a certain way. You care about what people think about you. And I was so mindful and fearful about everything. Half the time, people not even thinking about you, but in your mind, if you do this, they're going to think that, or what are they going to think about this? And you carry the whole weight of the world on your shoulder, and it's
Mhm.
not yours to carry. So I
Yeah.
was carrying a whole lot of weight, and I was afraid, to say anything to anybody. So I just took it. I just took it.
Yeah,
I
but
took
a lot of people need to think about what they think about themselves. You know,
Yeah,
it's like we're too busy pointing the fingers and trying to bring another person down so much off them sharing their testimony, but yet you have one too. You ain't no different. All of
exactly.
us, we're not living in this perfect world. We don't have these perfect lives or nothing. We all have something to share and help the next person. It's just that larceny, that evilness, that hate that we develop upon and we blame it onto the other person when we need to find ourselves and heal. A lot of people
Yeah,
don't take time out for themselves. At
yeah, yeah. That's another thing I had to do. I had to forgive myself because
Yeah.
I had everybody else for everything that they did in my life, everything that they did to me, everything that went wrong. I had to forgive those people for doing this, this, this. But I had a part in all of that. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. So
Hmm.
if you don't want anybody to yell at you and call you outside of your name, then you need to let it be known. Excuse
Hmm.
me, you need to speak up.
Yeah.
So I think the courage to speak is really refreshing. It's really
It's
refreshing.
setting, a lot of things as far as us women. When we first start dating men, we find all the things. Oh, he sold this, he does that. But we fall into that love trap so easily, so quickly, because this is something that we want and we've been looking for. But we not setting our boundaries and letting them know our standards and what we tolerate and don't tolerate. It's just when we do that, it gains another portion of understanding and comprehension when you getting to know that person, and we won't further ourselves into more pain that we already endured in our past.
Yeah, the root of that for me was compromise.
Mm,
Because when I wanted to say no, I said yes. Because I didn't know what the consequences would be. I just wanted to say yes at that time and thinking everybody else is doing it. So, I don't see anybody dying because they're doing it, but now I know after a whole lifetime of those types of decisions, I had to come full circle and go back to what I know. What God says is true, and He's telling us some things for a reason. It's not because He doesn't want us to have fun or, be in the thing. He's trying to save our hearts because He knows we're going to come back to Him with a broken heart that He's got to put together, and He doesn't mind because He's so full of love. And
mm,
then, He's going to say, I told you, but
yeah,
He didn't tell me, but I didn't know. You was the only one telling me, and you're a spirit, and I couldn't hear you for real, for real. Maybe if there were some godly women in my life speaking those things and telling me why, telling me in love, not just judging me,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
So,
That's the thing. When we do communicate with each other, we need to come from love within, like
mhm.
we really care. And then when we're doing that, we can't go and tell the next woman, girl, such and such and such, she said
Yeah,
it, she did, she died. It's like,
yeah,
what was the point of me even communicating with you when I'm confiding into you? Even when women aren't friends anymore, it still doesn't give you a right to share that woman's information because you both were friends, you trusted each other at the time.
yeah,
It still shouldn't leave. And that's,
yeah,
and that's where that hurt comes in, that where it makes us hard to vent to other women when all we're looking for is that compassion and that true friendship.
yeah. Be the kind of friend that you want to be.
Yeah.
Early in my life, that breach was broken because I shared something with a girlfriend, and we're kids. We're like in the eighth grade or something, and I shared something with her. Not thinking at that time that you have to say don't tell anybody. I was just sharing it with her, but it was just between me and her. And we came outside to play one time, and my brother was out there, and she blabbed it out to my brother, and I was crushed on the inside. I couldn't believe it, and I felt like I was betrayed. And so from that point, I didn't share anything because I feel like I can't trust you. You might tell somebody else. I don't. What can I share that I don't want mind if anybody else knows? So I became very guarded with who I shared things with, and I never had a lot of friends. I was a loner anyway. I like being to myself by myself.
Yeah.
I enjoy that every now and then. I was an introvert. I still am a bit of an introvert. That's why I
Yeah.
like being home. But
Yeah.
it's okay. A part of my personality is to be an introvert because of the compassion that I have for people. I'm very thoughtful. As I am becoming a writer, I understand now that's what all of that thinking time is for you to express it in a way that's going to help people.
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoy being a writer. That's why I wanted to write my story, No More Residue, to help people.
That's good. So how do you feel now that you found your voice and you're getting yourself out there more, with even with no more residue, you sharing a whole nother level of your personal life?
This is the beginning of that journey of me sharing that whole other level. And there is so much more because this book is just the beginning. I got to the root of some things, but that's not where I left it. And even though I found the courage to speak as I wrote this book, there was some more part of my journey as I'm coming along where I can speak to, another story for another day or other stories for other days. But a part of this writing this story, the courage to speak, is beginning to resonate with me. I have a voice. I can use my voice. I
Yeah.
don't have to take anything off of anybody. And then when you get a little older anyway, you get that kind of attitude that you can, you know, you can say what you want to say and people gonna respect the grade. You can say what you want to say and people gonna respect the grade.
Okay. So let
But
us.
it's liberating. It feels so good just to be able to share my opinion, express, have those boundaries, and let those boundaries be known. No, I have a boundary here, and I don't have to explain it. If you want me to explain it, I will tell you why, but don't get offended when I tell you why because you asked me. And I want you to know so we have an understanding. And if we have an understanding and you breach that understanding, then that's a whole nother level of self-control on my part because I already told you.
Uh-huh.
But
That,
at least I can say
all that what you say. I just wanted to drop the mic. That was just a whole line of checking.
I'm just saying, hey, that's how I am now. And I
That's
love it.
good.
It's free. I don't have to hold stuff inside because of what somebody's going to think. Because people will give you their opinion. I mean, you can give me your opinion, and I can't say anything back because I have a different opinion. Let's communicate. Let's share in love our different opinions. And if we can't agree on those opinions, it's okay. I still love you. I know
Mhm.
where you stand now, and you know where I stand. We don't even have to go there anymore because we already know. I already told you.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. That's how you have peace, you know?
Yes, yes,
You
that's
set up
so
in your
true.
mind that you're just going to keep it moving. Okay, we're not going nowhere with that. Let's keep it moving and
That's
let me.
that understanding. That understanding came in. You know, I know. After that, it is what it is.
Yep, yep. And if you keep pushing beyond my boundaries, that could be toxic. So now
Okay,
I need to know if this person is going to continue to try to punch through my boundaries, they don't mean me well. And so
no,
I need to recognize
no.
that. It's things like that you recognize. If they know that there's a boundary and they push, they don't respect you. That's what
Yeah,
that
you got to exit to the left on that because it'll get worse. The more
yeah,
you tolerate, the worse it'll get.
yeah,
I know off experience myself.
yeah. Girl, I'm glad you learned the lesson.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I learned it early
Yeah, yeah,
instead of waiting for so long. You know,
yeah,
it's,
yeah. And that's
it's
what
a
life
lot.
is about. Life is about learning the lessons so that you can grow. You don't stay a baby. Babies grow. So
Yeah,
they learn new things and they learn what's not right and what's good and what will work for them. And they continue to grow. If you don't continue, anything that does not continue to grow is dead.
that's
So that goes for relationships too. If that relationship is not growing, it's dead. Not
yeah,
that it can't be resurrected,
yes,
but sometimes you just need to know, call a spade, and understand what you're working with. If you want to continue to grow, you got to cut off some dead things.
yes. That is so
It's called
true.
pruning.
Yes. So
Prune some people out of your life. It's sucking
so
the life out of you.
so share with everyone how can they purchase your book.
Well, they can purchase my book at nomoreresidue.com/Charmaine. That's where I am. Or they can go to my website, CharmaineCastillo.com. I got a nice website that I worked on. It's looking pretty good. You can go there and purchase the book. And I thank you. I thank you so much.
Thank you. So tell me about your business also. What if someone needs some services through your business?
The LaFondé Experience was a business that I started, after my son died. Everything just came to light after he died. And
Yeah.
that's what I did. When my son died, I became alive because I wanted to live my life to the fullest. So I just formed this company, the LaFondé Experience. LaFondé is my middle name. So I wanted to use my middle name. Kids used to laugh at me when the teacher would say my name. So I was ashamed of my middle name. So now that I'm a little older and owning everything, LaFondé is a beautiful name. So my company, the LaFondé Experience, was a company that I formed just to house my writing, my storytelling, my speaking, just everything that I was going to do in the future, my modeling. And so everything is under there. And as I have begun to write, I also begin to exercise my gifting as an editor.
Okay.
So I offer an editing service. I'm a very good reader and editor. I have a way with words, and I can just pick up typos like they jump out at me. So if you are a new writer or just you have trouble writing and you want to say something just right, hey, I'm your girl. I make it flow for you. I make it sound good. And that's what I do. That's what I love to do. I love to help people. And I want to use my giftings to help people. And that's one of my giftings is, to edit people's writing. That's what I love.
That's amazing. Well, I applaud you for everything. I'm glad you found your voice. You
Thank
set
you.
standards, boundaries, and you living life to the fullest, and you're doing everything for you.
Yes. For me, it's all
Yes,
about now. I'm
yes,
not selfish. I'm very giving, but there were so many years that I did not consider me first, and now I think about me before I think about somebody else. If I'm
that's
okay
good.
with it, now I have the strength to help you.
You know, it's funny. It seems like a lot of people are in that season right now. It's a lot of people in the season where they just want to do things for themselves because they've been pouring into other people so much.
Yeah.
And me myself, I've done the same thing, and it just feels good to do for me now. Like
Yes.
it's
You
like the
you
greatest feeling.
you deserve it. You deserve it. You do. You have to tell
Go
you
ahead. That's
deserve it.
mm-hmm. I love that song too. Since you hit that note like that. Well, thank you again, Charmaine. I really appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Yvette, for having me. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my story. There's more to come.
Oh yes, and after everything come out, hopefully I'll see you again to share
Okay,
to everyone else that's listening.
that will be great. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you. Have a blessed night.
You too.
Bye bye.